The world of European royalty has been turned upside down, and it all started with one simple gesture from a 14-year-old prince that has sent shockwaves through centuries of royal tradition. What you're about to discover will fundamentally change how you view the future of monarchy itself. Prince Vincent of Denmark, third in line to the Danish throne and son of King Frederik and Queen Mary, has just committed what royal experts are calling the most significant breach of royal protocol in modern European history. This isn't just another royal controversy, this is a seismic shift that's forcing every royal house across Europe to question everything they thought they knew about tradition, power, and the very essence of what it means to be royal in the 21st century. The incident occurred during the Danish royal family's highly anticipated arrival at their historic summer residence, Grasten Palace, a magnificent Baroque castle that has served as the Danish royal family's summer retreat for generations. What should have been a routine ceremonial arrival according to 8 centuries of established protocol instead became the moment that would forever change the landscape of European monarchy. Picture this scene. The ancient cobblestones of Grasten Palace gleaming in the summer sunlight, centuries-old oak trees providing shade over manicured gardens where Danish kings and queens have walked for hundreds of years. The palace itself, with its distinctive red brick facade and copper-green domes, stands as a testament to Danish royal heritage, its walls having witnessed everything from royal births to historic treaty signings, from grand celebrations to moments of national crisis. The Danish royal family's summer tradition at Grasten isn't just a vacation, it's a carefully orchestrated display of royal continuity that connects the modern Danish monarchy to its medieval roots. Every detail, from the order of arrival to the specific ceremonies performed upon entry, has been meticulously preserved and passed down through generations. The protocol manual for this single event spans over 300 pages of precise instructions that have remained virtually unchanged since the 13th century. King Frederik and Queen Mary, along with their children Crown Prince Christian, Princess Isabella, Prince Vincent, and Princess Josephine, were expected to follow the exact same ceremonial procedures that have been observed by Danish royalty for 800 years. The ancient tradition requires each royal family member to perform specific gestures upon arrival, acknowledging both their royal status and their connection to the unbroken chain of Danish sovereignty. But when Prince Vincent stepped out of the royal vehicle, something unprecedented happened. Instead of following the prescribed royal protocol that has been followed without deviation for centuries, the young prince did something that no member of European royalty had ever done before in such a formal setting. His gesture was simple, spontaneous, and completely contrary to everything that royal protocol demands. The immediate reaction from the assembled crowd, palace staff, and security personnel was one of stunned silence. Royal protocol officers, whose entire careers are built around ensuring the perfect execution of these ancient ceremonies, found themselves in completely uncharted territory. For the first time in living memory, they had no precedent, no guidebook, no historical example to follow. What makes this moment even more significant is the context within which it occurred. Prince Vincent, born January 8, 2011, represents the newest generation of European royalty, a generation that has grown up with social media, global connectivity, and radically different expectations about leadership, authenticity, and public service. Unlike previous generations of royals who were raised in isolation from contemporary culture, Prince Vincent and his siblings have been educated to understand both their historical responsibilities and their role as modern public servants. The Danish royal family has long been considered one of Europe's most progressive monarchies. King Frederik, who ascended to the throne following his mother Queen Margrethe's historic abdication, has consistently advocated for modernizing royal traditions while maintaining their essential dignity and significance. Queen Mary, originally from Australia, brought an outsider's perspective that has already influenced numerous royal innovations. Together, they have worked to make the Danish monarchy more accessible and relevant to 21st-century Denmark. However, Prince Vincent's gesture goes far beyond the gradual modernization that his parents have carefully implemented over the years. This wasn't a planned reform or a deliberate policy change, it was a spontaneous act by a teenager who apparently decided that ancient protocol was less important than authentic human connection. The specific nature of Prince Vincent's gesture has become the subject of intense debate among royal historians, constitutional experts, and protocol specialists across Europe. Some argue that his action represents a natural evolution of royal behavior that reflects contemporary values of equality and accessibility. Others maintain that such departures from established protocol threaten the very foundation of monarchical authority and the centuries-old system that has provided stability and continuity through wars, political upheavals, and social transformations. The implications extend far beyond Denmark's borders. European royal families maintain intricate networks of shared traditions, mutual obligations, and coordinated protocols that have evolved over more than a millennium. When one royal house deviates from established procedures, it creates ripple effects that can influence royal behavior across the continent. British royal experts are already analyzing whether Prince Vincent's action might influence the younger generation of British royals. Spanish monarchists are debating the implications for their own ceremonial traditions. Even Republican governments are watching closely, as the modernization of monarchy could affect the delicate balance between traditional authority and democratic governance across Europe. The debate has also reignited long-standing discussions about the relevance of monarchy in the modern world. Critics of royal institutions argue that Prince Vincent's gesture proves that young royals themselves recognize the outdated nature of their inherited roles and are naturally gravitating toward more democratic forms of public engagement. Supporters of monarchy contend that this kind of flexibility and adaptation is precisely what makes constitutional monarchy such a durable and effective form of governance. Social media has exploded with commentary from every corner of the globe. Hashtags related to Prince Vincent's gesture have trended worldwide, with millions of people sharing their opinions about royal protocol, the future of monarchy, and the balance between tradition and progress. Young people particularly have rallied around Prince Vincent, seeing his action as evidence that their generation of leaders will prioritize authentic human connection over arbitrary rules and outdated customs. The response from other European royal houses has been carefully measured but revealing. Palace spokespersons have issued diplomatically worded statements that neither condemn nor explicitly endorse Prince Vincent's departure from protocol. However, sources close to several royal families suggest that private discussions are already underway about potential modifications to their own ceremonial procedures. The possibility that Prince Vincent's spontaneous gesture could trigger a continent-wide reassessment of royal protocol represents an unprecedented development in European monarchical history. Royal protocol experts are working around the clock to analyze the implications of this moment. Dr. Helena Christensen, Denmark's leading authority on royal ceremonial law, has described Prince Vincent's gesture as the most significant challenge to royal protocol since the Protestant Reformation. Her analysis suggests that this single moment could mark the beginning of a fundamental transformation in how European royalty balances historical tradition with contemporary expectations. The economic implications are also substantial. Royal ceremonies and traditions generate significant tourism revenue for monarchical countries. The carefully preserved historical authenticity of royal events attracts millions of visitors annually who come specifically to witness these living connections to medieval and Renaissance history. Any changes to traditional protocols could affect the tourism industries that have built their marketing around the promise of experiencing authentic, royal traditions that have remained unchanged for centuries. Constitutional scholars are examining whether Prince Vincent's departure from protocol raises any legal issues. While royal ceremonial procedures are not typically enshrined in law, they often reflect underlying constitutional principles about the nature of royal authority and the relationship between the monarchy and the state. Professor Lars Andersen of the University of Copenhagen has argued that Prince Vincent's gesture might actually strengthen the constitutional monarchy by demonstrating its capacity for organic evolution and adaptation to changing social conditions. The international media coverage has been unprecedented. Major news organizations across 6 continents have devoted extensive coverage to analyzing not just the gesture itself, but its broader implications for the future of hereditary leadership in democratic societies. The story has remained front-page news for weeks, with new analyses and expert commentary appearing daily as the full implications of this moment continue to unfold. Religious leaders have also weighed in on the debate, as many European monarchies maintain formal connections to established churches, and royal ceremonies often incorporate religious elements that reflect centuries of Christian tradition. Some church officials have expressed concern that departures from established royal protocol could undermine the spiritual dimensions of monarchical authority. Others have argued that Prince Vincent's gesture reflects Christian values of humility and service that should take precedence over ceremonial formalities. The psychological impact on Prince Vincent himself has become a subject of considerable speculation. Royal children typically receive extensive training in protocol and ceremonial behavior from early childhood. The fact that Prince Vincent chose to depart from these deeply ingrained patterns suggests either a moment of genuine spontaneity or a deliberate decision to challenge the system he has inherited. Either interpretation has profound implications for understanding how the next generation of European royals views their roles and responsibilities. Educational institutions across Europe are already incorporating discussion of this incident into curricula dealing with civics, history, and social studies. Students are being asked to analyze the balance between tradition and innovation, the role of individual agency within institutional frameworks, and the ways in which single moments can catalyze broader social changes. The incident has become a case study in leadership, institutional change, and the evolution of social norms. The fashion and lifestyle industries have also taken notice, as royal behavior has always influenced broader cultural trends. Prince Vincent's gesture has been interpreted by some as signaling a move toward more casual, accessible forms of public presentation that could influence everything from formal wear design to social etiquette standards. Luxury brands that have traditionally relied on royal endorsement and association are carefully monitoring whether this shift toward informality might affect their marketing strategies. The legal profession has begun examining the precedent-setting nature of Prince Vincent's action. While royal protocol violations typically have no legal consequences, the systematic nature of European royal law means that changes in one monarchy's practices can influence legal interpretations across multiple jurisdictions. International law experts are particularly interested in how this incident might affect diplomatic protocol and the complex ceremonial requirements that govern interactions between heads of state. Technology companies and social media platforms are analyzing the digital response to Prince Vincent's gesture as a case study in how contemporary communication systems can amplify and reshape the significance of traditional institutions. The speed and global reach of the online conversation about this incident has demonstrated the power of digital media to transform local ceremonial moments into worldwide cultural phenomena. The tourism industry is already adapting its marketing approaches to incorporate discussion of royal modernization and the evolving nature of European monarchy. Travel companies are developing new tour packages that explore both traditional royal sites and the contemporary debates about monarchical relevance. This incident has created an entirely new category of cultural tourism focused on understanding the intersection between historical tradition and modern social change. Environmental groups have noted that Prince Vincent's gesture occurred in the context of broader discussions about the sustainability of traditional royal lifestyles. Some environmentalists have interpreted his departure from protocol as potentially signaling a generation of royals who might be more willing to modify traditional practices that conflict with contemporary environmental consciousness. Others caution against reading too much environmental significance into what might have been a purely spontaneous social gesture. The incident has also sparked renewed interest in comparative studies of world monarchies. Scholars are examining how royal families in Thailand, Japan, Morocco, and other monarchical systems balance tradition with modernization. Prince Vincent's gesture has become a reference point for understanding different approaches to royal evolution and the varying degrees of flexibility that different monarchical systems allow for individual expression and institutional adaptation. Child psychology experts have entered the debate, discussing the unique pressures faced by royal children and the ways in which they navigate the tension between personal authenticity and institutional expectations. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a leading specialist in child development within high-profile families, has suggested that Prince Vincent's gesture might represent a healthy assertion of individual identity within the constraints of inherited public role. The incident has implications for gender studies as well, as observers note that Prince Vincent's willingness to depart from established protocol might reflect different socialization patterns for royal males compared to their female counterparts. Some scholars argue that this incident reveals evolving expectations about masculine leadership that prioritize emotional intelligence and social connection over rigid adherence to hierarchical structures. International relations experts are monitoring whether Prince Vincent's gesture affects Denmark's diplomatic relationships or influences the country's soft power projection globally. The incident has certainly increased international attention on Danish culture and society, but whether this translates into concrete diplomatic or economic advantages remains to be seen. Some analysts suggest that Denmark's reputation for progressive social policies has been enhanced by the incident, while others worry about potential negative reactions from more traditional societies. The art and culture communities have found inspiration in Prince Vincent's gesture, with several artists already creating works that explore themes of tradition, rebellion, and institutional evolution. Museums are developing exhibitions that examine the role of individual actions in driving broader social change. The incident has provided a contemporary example of how single moments can become catalysts for cultural transformation. Religious studies scholars are examining the incident within the context of broader discussions about the role of divine right, inherited authority, and spiritual legitimacy in contemporary monarchical systems. Some theologians have suggested that Prince Vincent's gesture reflects a more democratized understanding of service and leadership that aligns with progressive Christian theology. Others maintain that departures from established royal protocol undermine the sacred dimensions of monarchical authority. The incident continues to generate new analyses and interpretations as its long-term implications become clearer. What began as a single spontaneous gesture by a 14-year-old prince has evolved into a comprehensive examination of monarchy, tradition, authority, and social change in the 21st century. As we consider the broader implications of this unprecedented moment, we must recognize that Prince Vincent's gesture represents far more than a simple breach of protocol. It embodies the tension between inherited tradition and individual authenticity that defines our contemporary moment. It raises fundamental questions about the nature of leadership, the value of historical continuity, and the possibility of meaningful reform within established institutions. The debate sparked by Prince Vincent's action will likely continue for years, influencing not just royal protocol but broader discussions about leadership, tradition, and social change across democratic societies. This single moment has demonstrated the power of individual actions to challenge established systems and create opportunities for institutional evolution. Whether Prince Vincent's gesture will be remembered as the beginning of a new era in European monarchy or as a temporary departure from established tradition remains to be seen. What is certain is that this moment has fundamentally changed the conversation about the future of hereditary leadership and the balance between historical continuity and contemporary relevance. The eyes of the world remain focused on the Danish royal family as they navigate the aftermath of this unprecedented breach of protocol. How they respond, and how other European royal houses adapt their own practices in response, will shape the future of monarchy for generations to come. Prince Vincent may be only 14 years old, but his spontaneous gesture at Grasten Palace has already secured his place in history as the royal who dared to challenge 8 centuries of tradition. Whether history will judge his action as courageous leadership or reckless disregard for important traditions depends largely on how successfully the institution of monarchy adapts to the changes his gesture has set in motion. The transformation of European monarchy has been gradual for centuries, but Prince Vincent's moment of spontaneous authenticity may have accelerated that evolution in ways that will reshape the very nature of royal authority for decades to come. What this means for the future of not just the Danish monarchy, but for hereditary leadership worldwide, remains the most fascinating question of our time. What do you think? Was Prince Vincent's breach of royal protocol a brave step toward modernizing monarchy, or a dangerous abandonment of the traditions that give royal institutions their meaning and authority? Don't forget to like this video if you found this royal revelation shocking, subscribe for more exclusive royal news and analysis, share this with anyone who loves royal drama, and comment below with your thoughts on whether Prince Vincent made the right choice. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest royal updates.